fans, Paul Hotspur Hippie here, the only psychedelic sock show on the internet. I've got a bee in my bonnet today, folks. There might be a bit of class warfare involved. Be warned, the name of the channel is the Hotspur Hippie. It's not the Hotspur Piers Morgan or the Andrew O'Neill. It's the Hotspur Hippie. And I am not happy with things at Tottenham at the moment. And to me, it's just the way football has gone. We've got a situation now where the transfer window, nothing's happening. Maybe something will happen, but it's leaving way too late. And there's a number of candidates that could be responsible for it. This is the new paradigm of football, folks, where it's not just the manager who runs the club. You've got all these other snouts in the trough. Who's to blame? Is it Ange Postecoglou? Has he really not got a clue? Is he tactically out of his depth? Is it Johan Langer, a suit brought in to bring strategy about the place? I can't see any strategy. Or is it Scott Munn, the other suit that somehow is above the other one? Or is it Daniel Levy? Or is it all four of them? And this is the problem with modern football, a complete lack of accountability. It's criminal. Now, I've heard the argument, and I think Sean Butler has put this argument forward, that you need a director of football, because if you look at the average tenure of a football manager in the Premier League, it's, say, let's call it 18 months. It might be a bit longer, a bit shorter. So really, if you're going to listen to a manager to do all the buying and selling, and they're only 18 months, how can you ensure continuity for the football club? Therefore, ergo, you need a suit above him, a stuffed shirt, who's there for the long haul. Well, that breaks down, I'm afraid. I don't buy that for 1 second, because most of the football directors going around have never kicked a bloody football in their life. They've never added anything up on an abacus. Most of them come from, and here comes the class warfare, folks, I warned you about it, privileged white middle class backgrounds, upper middle class. They've all been to the poshest schools. I'm looking at you, Scott Munn. I've been accused of, not that I care, I've been accused of only liking Ange because he's Australian, or only supporting Tottenham because Ange is in there and he's an Australian. Absolute bollocks. I like Ange because he's a good coach, he knows football, and he's from the neighbourhood. He's one of us. Scott Munn, no. Privileged background, went to a fancy schmancy private school, was fighting off jobs for the boys' invitations ever since he stopped using plasticine and crayons. Never kicked a football in his life, knows bugger all about football, but it's jobs for the boys at this level, jobs for the boys. It ain't just football this happens in, it's all sorts of walks of life. You go to a posh school with all the other posh kids, and who gets the posh jobs? It's them, of course. It's them, of course. The working man, the working class man has not got a bloody chance against this infestation of upper class twats. So there you go, Scott Munn. So my argument would be, these football directors who know bugger all about what they're doing, they shouldn't be in the job longer than 18 months themselves. How can they be? They're only there being propped up by other corporate suits and swags of cash and family connections. There's no guarantee that a director of football can do a decent job for 5 years. When has that happened? I don't know if I can remember one, actually. They're just stuffing the place up with bureaucracy, taking the spirit out of the football, cleaning up the game for posh people who don't like a bit of rough and tumble. And what's more, as I said, lack of accountability, complete lack of accountability. We used to call this in IT as well, more than 1 point of failure. We have now got 4 points of failure in Tottenham Hotspur: Daniel Levy, Scott Munn, Johan Langer and Ange Postecoglou. So when a transfer window like this completely goes tits up, as it is so far, who's to blame? Now, if your main job, Johan Langer or Scott Munn, is to get players in and out the door in a bloody summer transfer window, I think you only get one shot at that. If you don't get it right, you can have all the PowerPoint presentations, critical success factors, all that arse. If you don't buy anyone, that's it. you lose your job. Where's the accountability? So I'm looking at you on this one, Daniel Levy. If you really have changed your tune and you want this club to be successful, and you're taking a couple of steps back away from the football matters while you build yourself some more casinos, hotels and knocking shops, then hold these people accountable. If it's not you to blame, it's one of these other clowns, Scott Munn or Justin Langer. I'm looking at you. I'm mainly looking at Justin Langer, and this is from comments that Ange has been making. He's been adamant, we need a striker, we need more depth up front. The plan is in place. Johan has been working on it for some time. The plan has not changed. Johan Langer, you're next on the block, son. We don't get a striker in. What are you doing at Tottenham Hotspur? Was he any good when he was at Aston Villa? I don't know. They seem to be doing all right since he left. So what's the value add? What's the unique selling point, the value proposition of a twat like that in our club? Football has been absolutely knackered because for some reason the rationale has become, because all salaries and business deals have got a few more zeros on the end, that football has somehow fundamentally changed and needs people from posh private schools to come in and make sure it's all done properly. You know, make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. No, you just get a bunch of posh people that don't like making decisions, can't make hard decisions because they've been spoilt all their lives. They don't know what they're talking about, and when things go wrong, as this transfer window is so far, there are no repercussions, nothing. And you can guarantee, even if we buy no one and one of these two idiots gets the boot, they'll walk straight into another job because they know someone who knows someone. Oh, you know Jonty, do you? Oh yes, I went to school with Jonty, blah, 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 magnificent fellow. That's who the people are that are running football. That's why you've got boards, you've got VAR, you've got pitches that have got no mud on them, you've got no mystery in the game. They've taken as much mystery out of the game as possible because these people can't cope with mystery. They can't cope with human emotion. They like things black and white thinking. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? How do I make a quid out of this? How can we monetize that? How can we scab as much money from the working class fan as we possibly can? We've come in and we've taken their game. We're going to take away their bloody livelihoods, exploiting something that they love. And I'm sick of it. I want these people gone out of the game. So, Johan Langer, you might look like JFK and have a boyish wink and a grin. Buy some bloody players, you idiot. Anyway, till next time, peace and love, folks. Peace and love. And come on, you Spurs.